Alright guys, welcome back to episode 4 of the Java journey. So in the previous episodes we covered the basics of variables, data types and control flow in our last episode. So now we're going to go ahead and take a leap forward and explore methods. So methods are like mini programs within our program, allowing us to break down complex tasks into smaller manageable pieces and to reuse code effectively. So as you can see on my screen, I'm in my IDE, I'm using JetBrains, and I've created a new class called method. So go ahead and create that class, and without further ado, let's get started and let's write some code. Okay, so as always, we're going to start off with our main function. So let's go ahead and go public static void main, yeah, string, capital S, don't forget that, brackets, yeah, args, cool. Hopefully you're starting to get used to it. It's a little bit difficult once you first get started, but you know, you'll get the hang of it slowly. So what we're going to do is we're going to initiate a new variable. So let's go ahead and do int result equals, and we'll use a function add, and we'll pass in two variables, 5 and 3, and we'll go ahead and provide our semicolon, and then we're going to do system dot out dot print ln, and we're going to go ahead and print out the results. Cool, make sure that you include your semicolon. So what we're doing here, right, we are calling a method called add, which takes in two arguments, right, 5 and 3. The result of this method call is stored in an integer variable named result, okay, and which we will then print to the console. But we haven't defined add method yet, so let's go ahead and do that now. So how would we go ahead and define that method? So what we're going to do is we're going to type first line, so public static, right, and obviously we want to return an integer, so we're going to say int, and then add is the name of our function. So inside of here we want to pass two arguments, right, so we want to pass an integer of a, and then let's pass it another argument, so int b, right. So these are just placeholders of the arguments that we want to pass. Go ahead and open up your curly braces, and inside we want to use the return statement, so type in return, and then do a plus, if I can find on my keyboard, b, and then make sure you put a semicolon there as well. Okay, so I've added that function. One important note is make sure that you do not include the function inside of this main, this new method inside of this main method, right? Make sure to keep it outside. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and run, and let's see the output that we get. So it's running now, and as you can see in the console, we've got a result here called 8. So if we have a look, 5 plus 3 is 8, so we've got that the right correct answer. So this is the first method that we have made. Let me just explain what we've just done, right? So what we've done is we've defined an add method, yeah, outside of the main method. So that's very, very important for you to know. The keyword public static, right, will make this method accessible from other parts of our program. Int that we've defined before the method name indicates that this method returns an integer value, right? So that's very, very important, right? Because depending on what we're going to return from this method, we need to give that type to our method, right? And inside the parentheses here, we've got int a and int b, which represent the two numbers that we want to add inside of the method body. So simply, we return the sum of a and b. So now that we've got that, obviously we've got 8 printed out into the console. We can move on and dive a little bit deeper into methods. So let's take a look at method parameters and return of values. So what are parameters, right? Parameters are our input values that we pass to a method. They allow us to make our methods more flexible and reusable. Return values, so for example here we've got a return value, our outputs of the method. Not all methods will have a return value. So for example, if a method doesn't have a return value, then we would use the keyword void instead of a data type. So instead of int here, we would just put void. That's how it would work. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and write a little bit more code so that we could understand like how we would do and create a void method. So let's do that now, right? So public, then type along with me, static void, and then let's say greet, okay? And inside of here, what we're going to do is we're going to pass in a parameter string, and of course name, because we would want to greet someone. And we go ahead and open up our curly braces. And then inside of here, what we'll do is system.out.println. And inside of here, we will just do, yeah, this is perfect, right? Hello, comma, and then pass name, whatever we're using basically, right? So now that we've got that, what we'll do is we'll go ahead into our main method, right? And what we want to do is go ahead and call the greet function that we've just created. And inside of here, we'll provide a name and we'll say James, for example. Make sure you add your semicolon as well. And we are going to go ahead and run this shortly. But before we get started, just to explain once again what we're doing, right? Created a method called greet, right? It takes a parameter, a string parameter here, right, called name, and it'll print out a greeting message in the console to greet whatever the parameter that we pass, right? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and run the main method, and it's running now. Fantastic. Now we've got, as you can see here, the console now displays the greeting, hello James. So this demonstrates how to use methods that don't return any values, right? So what is something really important for us to understand, right? Java also supports method overloading. So you're probably thinking, great, what does that mean, right? So method overloading allows us to define multiple methods with the same name, but different parameters. So this enables us to create methods that can handle different types of input. So we'll explore method overloading in more detail in further episodes, but it's just something for you to know about, and please feel free to do a little bit of research and look into it as well. But let's do a quick recap of what we've covered today. So first, we've looked at methods, right? They're reusable blocks of code that can perform specific tasks. We've looked at parameters today, input values that are passed to methods. We've looked at return values, which is output values returned by methods. And we've also looked at void methods as well, right? Methods that don't return values. So methods are fundamental concepts in programming. By using methods, we can break down extremely complex tasks into small reusable chunks of code and create more organized and maintainable programs. So keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next episode where we're going to look into arrays. Thanks for watching.